Hello everyone, welcome all for the course Engineering Metrology. So this is the second lecture on the topic screw thread measurement and gear metrology. So the contents of the today's topic are, so recalling of the lecture 1, and then I will discuss the errors in the screw threads, and then I will discuss the measurement of the screw thread elements, major diameter and minor diameter. And then we will summarize the today's topic contents. So this is the lecture 1. So in this we discussed what is screw thread. A screw thread is a helical ridge produced by forming a continuous helical groove of uniform cross section on the external or internal surface of a cylinder or a cone. Suppose if the screw thread is formed on a cylinder, it is known as the straight or parallel screw thread, while the screw thread is formed on a cone, it is known as the tapered screw thread. So these screw threads are the important machine elements used in the screws, bolts, nuts, studs, capped holes, and other power transmitting devices. And then we discussed the general applications of the screw threads. So in this, we use the screw threads for fastening. That means for temporary fixing of one part onto the another by means of screws, nuts, bolts, and studs. And then the screw threads are used for joining purpose. That means coaxial joining of the rods, tubes, etc. by means of both internal and external screws. And then screw threads are used for clamping purpose. So that means strongly holding up the object by a threaded rod. So like in C-clamps, vices, tailstock on lathe bed, etc. And screw threads are used in controlling the linear movement. That is a travel of the slides, like in tailstock barrel, compound slide, cross slide, and also the work tables movement in the milling machines, shaping machines, CNC machine tools, etc. And also we use for transmitting the motion and power. We use the screw threads like lead screws of the machine tools, and converting the rotary motion into translatory motion. So the rotation of the screw causing the linear travel of the nut, so which have wide use in the machine tool kinematic systems. And the position control in instruments, we use the screw threads. In this, the work table is moved in microscopes for a precision movement of the work tables in the microscopes, and to place the workpiece or to position the workpiece under the microscope. And precision measurement of length, that is a thread spindle of micrometers. So where the precise measurement or movement provided to the spindle. So we use the screw threads. So action as a worm. So for obtaining the slow rotation of the gear on our worm wheel, so we use these screw threads. And exerting heavy force, that is in mechanical presses. So the force is exerted by means of the screws. And conveying and squeezing the materials, like in screw conveyors or in injection molding machines, screw pumps, etc. And controlled automatic feeding, we use the screw threads, like in a mass production assembly. So there the workpiece is automatically fed into the machine So for that purpose, we use the screw threads. And also we classified the different types of screw threads. So according to the location, according to the configuration, according to the direction of the helix, according to the form, according to the standards, according to the number of starts in a thread, according to the spacing of the threads, according to the compactness or fitness of the threads, according to the segmentation. So we classified the screw threads. And also we discussed, we known that the screw threads are made by using the thread machining process, like a turning operation or in milling operation, grinding, in tapping. So by using these methods, we can produce the threads on the cylindrical workpieces. And also there is another method is called thread rolling operation. So that is also used for producing the threads on the cylindrical or conical workpieces. And also we discussed the elements of screw thread. So in this, the first one is the axis of the thread. So axis of the thread is an imaginary line, so which takes place longitudinally, through the center of the screw. So here we have the screw thread. So this is the center of the screw. So that is called the axis of the thread. So it is only imaginary line, so that it takes place longitudinally through the center of the screw. And the crest of the thread, so that means it is the topmost point of the groove forming the thread is called the crest. And the root of the thread, so it is the bottommost point of the groove forming the thread is called the root of the thread. And then flanks of the threads, so these are the straight edge surfaces which joins the crest to root point is called the flank of the thread. And angle of the thread, so this is the angle. So it is the angle between the two opposite flanks of the thread, which is measured in the axial plane. And the flank angle, so it is half of the thread angle. So it is the angle made by the individual flanks with a plane perpendicular to the axis of the thread. And pitch. So pitch is the distance between the two successive crest points or two successive root points is called the pitch. So this distance is measured parallel to the axis of the thread. And another one is the lead. So lead is the axial distance advanced by the screw in one revolution. So in case of a single start thread, so lead is equal to pitch. If it is a multi-start thread, lead is equal to pitch into number of starts. Similarly, we discussed the major diameter. So major diameter. So this is the thread. So major diameter is the diameter of an imaginary cylinder which passes through the crest points of the thread. Is called the major diameter. So it is an imaginary cylinder which passes through the crest points of the thread. And we discussed the minor diameter. So it is an imaginary cylinder. It is the diameter of an imaginary cylinder that passes through the root points of the thread. And then we discussed the mean or effective or pitch diameter. So it is the diameter of an imaginary cylinder which passes through the pitch line. Of the screw thread, pitch line of the screw thread. And the depth of the thread, so it is the distance between crest point and the root point. Crest point and the root point that is measured along a plane perpendicular to the axis of the thread. Perpendicular to the axis of the thread. And then we discussed the axial thickness. Axial thickness. So it is the distance between the two opposite flanks measured on the pitch line. Distance between the two opposite faces of the same thread measured along a pitch line is called the axial thickness. And what is pitch line? Pitch line is a line which divides the thread into two equal parts. So which divides the thread into two equal parts. And then what is addendum? Addendum is the radial distance between the crest point and the pitch line is the addendum. And dedendum is the radial distance between the pitch line and the root point of the thread. Root point of the thread is called the dedendum. And then we discussed what is thread per inch, TPI. We call it as TPI, thread per inch. That means the number of threads taking place per 1 inch. So it is the reciprocal of the pitch. And then we understood what is the lead angle and the helix angle. So this is the cylinder. This is the axis of the cylinder. And this is the thread. And if we unroll this thread, and if we draw the development, so this is the development of the helix. This is the development of the helix. This forms the hypotenuse. And this is the opposite side. And this length is circumference of the cylinder. So this angle is called the lead angle. So it is the angle subtended by the helix with the lead of helix. So it is the angle made by the helix subtended by the angle with the lead of helix is called the lead angle. And this angle is called helix angle. So it is the angle subtended by the circumference of the cylinder with the helix, development of the helix is called the helix angle. So this we have discussed in the lecture 1, and then this is the lecture 2. So what are the errors in the screw threads? So in this the errors arises so during its manufacturing of the screw threads or while storing of the screw threads. So the errors arises. So in order to check the accuracy of the screw thread, so there is at least 5 important elements which must be considered for the measurement. So the error in any of these 5 important elements causes the rejection of the screw thread. So what are these 5 important elements? So you have to measure at least 5 important elements. Okay, major diameter, minor diameter, and effective diameter, pitch, angle of the thread form. So this must be checked, and the method of gauging must be able to cover all these elements for checking the accuracy of the screw threads. And what are the errors in the screw threads? Maybe errors in the major diameter takes place, errors maybe in the minor diameter, maybe in the effective diameter, and errors in the pitch, and error maybe in the angle of the thread. The errors of the major diameter will cause, one is the interference with the mating threads happens, and a reduction in the flank contact takes place. So in case of internal threads, so the wall thickness is reduced. Wall thickness is reduced. So weakens by reduction of the wall thickness. Similarly, the errors on the minor diameter will cause, one is the interference with the mating parts, mating threads, and a reduction in the flank contact, and weakens by reduction of the cross section of the root. And the errors in the effective diameter will determine the amount of slackness or tightness or interference between the flanks of the mating threads. Pitch and angle errors cause a progressive tightening of the assembly and interference on the assembly takes place. So these pitch error and angle errors have a special significance as they can be precisely related to the effective diameter. So the pitch errors in the screw threads we'll discuss. So these errors arises when the ratio of linear velocity of the tool and the angular velocity of the work is incorrect. If this ratio must be correct, and this ratio must be maintained constant to avoid the pitch errors. And generally the threads are produced by generating threads are generated by a point cutting tool. And what is a cumulative pitch error? The total pitch error in overall length of the thread is the cumulative pitch error. So pitch errors are classified into progressive error, periodic error, drunken error, and irregular errors or erratic errors. So we'll see one by one. So one is the progressive pitch error. So due to progressive pitch error, the total length of the thread engaged will be either too great or too small. So this graph shows the cumulative pitch error and the thread length. So generally the relationship between the thread length and the cumulative pitch error is a straight line relationship. So what are the causes for the progressive error? So one is the incorrect ratio of linear velocity of tool and angular velocity of the work, and pitch error in the lead screw of the lathe or other machines used for thread cutting. And third cause is incorrect gears on an appropriate gear train between the work and the lead screw. And fourth reason is fault in the saddle guideways. The guideways may not straight, so there may be a fault, maybe lack of straightness. Fault in the saddle guideways causes the progressive pitch error, and variation in the length due to hardening causes the progressive errors in the screw threads. Second one is periodic pitch error. So that means this error repeats in the regular intervals along the thread. So because of this, the successive portions of the thread are either longer or shorter than the mean thread length. So these errors are cyclic, and pitch increases to a maximum and then reduces through normal value to a minimum. Again, it repeats. So let us see this figure or graph shows the cumulative pitch error and the length of the thread. So therefore, the shape of the curve is a thread profile is a sinusoidal form. So here the distance so this distance is not same as this distance, and this distance is same as this distance because of periodic pitch error. So pitch increases to a maximum and then reduces to the through nominal to a minimum value. Again it increases to the maximum, again it reduces to the minimum, again it increases to the maximum. So that is called the periodic pitch error. So the reasons for the periodic pitch errors in the screw threads are: one is tool work velocity ratio is not uniform, and the second one is the lead screw of the machine lacks squareness, causing the lead screw to move forward or backward once in each revolution. So in each revolution, the screw will move forward and then it moves backward. So that causes the periodic error. And eccentric mounting of gears between the lead screw and the spindle, and errors in the teeth of these gears, and also errors in the lead screw itself causes the periodic errors. The third error is a drunken error. So this is having an erratic pitch, so in which the advance of the helix is irregular in one complete revolution of the thread. So the thread drunkenness is a particular case of periodic pitch error, so which occurs at intervals of one pitch. So in order to measure the pitch correctly, the pitch measured parallel to the thread axis will always be correct. The only error being that the thread is not cut to the true helix. So in the drunken error, the thread is not cut to the true helix. So because of this, drunken error arises. So if you see this figure, graph or figure, so when we cut the thread and unroll, if we unroll it, so we can get a triangle shape. So this is called the true thread. The hypotenuse forms the true thread length, and this is the circumference of the cylinder, that is pi d, and this is the pitch of the screw. If the screw thread is formed accurately, we will get a straight line, or the triangle is formed when we make the development of the screw thread. Suppose when we make the development of the screw thread, when we obtain the shape like this, instead of a straight line, so that indicates the drunkenness. So if the screw thread regarded as an inclined plane wound around a cylinder, and if the thread be unwound from the cylinder, that is the development of the thread to be taken, then the drunkenness can be visualized like this. The helix will be a curve in the case of a drunken thread and not a straight line. So it is very difficult to determine such drunken errors, and moreover, they do not have any great effect on the working unless the thread is of very large size. Next error is irregular errors or erratic errors. So these errors arises from disturbances in the machining setup, and the variations in the cutting properties of the material causes the irregular errors. So these errors have no specific causes and correspondingly no specific characteristics also. So the reasons for the irregular errors are: one is fault in the machine, and irregular cutting action resulting from non-uniformity in the material of the screw, and disturbances in the machining setup causes the irregular errors. What is the effect of pitch error? So because of the pitch error, that increases the effective diameter of the bolt and decreases the diameter of the nut. The functional diameter of the nut will be less, and it reduces the clearance, increases the interference between the mating parts. Measurement of various elements of the screw thread. To find out the accuracy of the screw thread, so it is necessary to measure the at least 5 important elements. One is the measured diameter, minor diameter, effective diameter or pitch diameter, pitch, and thread angle and form. So in this, the measurement of measured diameter is done by means of either a bench micrometer or ordinary micrometer. So this is the measurement of the measured diameter by using the bench micrometer. So this photograph shows the bench micrometer. So this consists of a sturdy cast iron base. So on the sturdy cast iron base, on one end we have the slide, so which can be slide along the length of the bed, and which houses the large diameter micrometer head, so which has the annuals. So this annual or spindle can move in and out by rotating the micrometer head. And there is a table. So this table can be moved forward and backward along the length of the bed. And this table surface is a flat surface. And this table can also be moved up and down to accommodate the different sizes of the workpieces. The left end of the bench micrometer, we have the annual. So this annual also be moved in and out. And inside there is a mechanism, and there is a fiducial indicator. So in the, here on the table, we place the workpiece. And then we apply the movement to the micrometer head. So this micrometer spindle will contact with the screw thread. So the very important consideration is we should not apply a undue pressure on the screw thread. So the screw threads will crush if undue pressure or more pressure is applied. So that causes the errors in the screw threads. So in order to avoid that, so there is a fiducial indicator which shows the pressure applied on the screw thread. So if you rotate the micrometer head, so this will spindle will contact with the screw thread. So this applied force is transmitted to the annual. So this annual shows the applied pressure on the fiducial indicator. So in order to apply the uniform pressure on all the workpieces, so we use the fiducial indicator. And this shows the 2D figure, so which has the holding centers, work holding centers. So here the work is held between the two centers. The axis of the work holding center and the axis of the screw must be perpendicular to each other. So the axis of the measuring annuals and the axis of the holding centers must be perpendicular to each other. So as we have explained, the right end we have the micrometer head, so which has the divisions on the micrometer head, and also we have the there is a reference line. On the reference line we have the divisions, and right end of the instrument we have the fiducial indicator, so which shows the pressure which is applied on the workpiece by the micrometer head. So how do we measure the diameter using the bench micrometer? So for getting the greater accuracy, the bench micrometer is used for measuring the measured diameter. So in this process, the variation in the measuring pressure and the pitch errors are being neglected. So here the fiducial indicator is used to ensure all the measurements are made at the same pressure. So this instrument has a micrometer head with a vernier scale to read the accuracy up to 0.002 mm. So in order to conduct the experiment, first the plain plug gauge that can be considered as a standard cylinder. So that is placed in between the measuring centers and that is holding centers. The standard cylinder is placed between the holding centers and the measuring annuals are moved onto the standard cylinder, and then we take the reading on the standard cylinder. So here the standard cylinder diameter is approximately same as the size of the major diameter of the screw thread. So after setting the standard, the setting standard cylinder is held between the annuals and the reading is R1 is taken. Then the cylinder is replaced by the threaded workpiece and the new reading is taken as R2. So here R1 is the reading on the standard cylinder and R2 is the reading on the inspected workpiece. And S is the diameter of the standard cylinder, which is approximately equal to the size of the major diameter of the screw thread. Therefore, the major diameter of the thread is equal to the size of the standard cylinder plus or minus the reading R1 minus reading R2. So a plus or minus can be considered depending upon the size of the standard cylinder, whether it is smaller than the size of the major diameter or larger than the size of the screw thread major diameter. So this figure shows how we can measure the screw thread major diameter using the bench micrometer. So initially we set the standard cylinder. So on the standard cylinder, we take the reading as R1 and then we replace the standard cylinder by screw thread. Again, we take the reading that is R2. Another instrument outside micrometer also we can use for measuring the major diameter of the screw thread. So here also first we place the standard cylinder of size S having approximately the same diameter as of screw thread to be inspected. So that is called gauge setting. And then micrometer reading R1 is taken on the standard cylinder. So after taking the reading on the standard cylinder, we replace the standard cylinder by the screw thread which is measured. So and then we place the screw thread or workpiece and then again take the reading R2 on the major diameter of the thread. Therefore, the major diameter of the thread is equal to S plus or minus R1 minus R2. S is the standard cylinder size. Generally, it is a plain plug gauge. R1 is the diameter of the reading on the standard cylinder. R2 is the reading on the screw thread measurement reading. So by using this formula, we can calculate what is the outside or major diameter of the external screw thread. And the measurement of minor diameter. So the minor diameter is measured by a comparative method by using the floating carriage diameter measuring machine, and we use the small V pieces that these are called the prisms. So which make contact with the root of the thread. So these prisms are made of several sizes having suitable radii at the edges. So these prisms are made of hardened steel And a floating carriage diameter measuring machine is a bench micrometer mounted on a carriage. So this is the workpiece for which the minor diameter is to be measured. Is placed between the centers, and then we have the prisms. So these are being used on screw thread and on setting cylinder. So we have this is the screw thread, and this is the prism. So the bottom end, the prism is a sharp ends. So this should contacts at the root of the thread, and the flanks of the thread should not contact the sides of the prism. So we have to take care. So we need to select the size of the prisms in such a way that. So initially we set the standard plug gauge of approximately the same size of the minor diameter of the screw thread. So that is mounted on the centers, and then we will take the reading as R1 when it is placed between the two prisms. Then standard cylinder is removed, and the threaded workpiece is to be checked is mounted between the centers of the instrument, and then the reading R2 is noted. So the minor diameter of the thread is equal to D plus or minus R2 minus R1. D is the diameter of the cylindrical gauge, plug gauge, of approximately the same as the minor diameter of the screw thread. And R2 is the micrometer reading on the threaded workpiece. R1 is the micrometer reading on the cylindrical gauge. So by using this, so we can find out what is the minor diameter of the thread. So this is about the today's class. So in order to check the accuracy of the screw thread, so we need to check at least 5 important elements. And any error in any of these 5 elements causes the rejection of the screw thread. So maybe error in the major diameter, minor diameter, effective diameter, pitch, angle of the thread causes the rejection of the thread. And these elements must be checked, and the method of gauging must be able to cover all these elements. And the errors on the major diameter will cause the interference with the mating threads, reduces the flank contact, and in case of internal threads, the wall thickness is reduced, that causes the weakens the threads. And errors in the minor diameter will cause the interference with the mating threads, and reduces the flank contact, and also weakens by reduction of the cross section of the root. Errors on the effective diameter will determine the amount of slackness or tightness or interference between the flanks of the mating threads. Pitch and angle errors causes progressive tightening and interference on the assembly. So these pitch error and angle errors have special significance because they are precisely related to the effective diameter. And the pitch errors are classified into progressive error, periodic pitch error, drunken error, erratic or irregular errors. So in periodic pitch error, the successive portions of the thread are either longer or shorter than the mean thread length. So this error occurs when the tool work ratio, velocity ratio is not constant or uniform. So to find out the accuracy of the screw thread, so it will be necessary to measure the major diameter and minor diameter, effective diameter, pitch, and thread angle. So these are the references we followed for preparing this lecture. Thank you.